Welcome back to another episode of Beers with Peers. I'm your host, Sandia. Today's guest is part of the musical group In Our Angelhood. You can catch their latest single anywhere you stream music. Please welcome our brand new guest, Mr. Joe. So we got new mugs, and we'll see how it goes. Let's just get into it.
Cool.
You do not like IPAs,
Nope.
so I hope it's an IPA. Salud.
Cheers. What is that, Guinness?
It's pretty good.
I'm gonna say it's Guinness.
It's not Guinness. They want to do that. It's pretty good. I won't lie. No, they want to do that. It'd be darker too. Guinness is darker, isn't it?
Really? Dark Guinness?
Yeah, that's like kind of like brown. Guinness is like more like black.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not too bad.
Actually, really good.
Well, thick.
Anyways, so as I said in our intro, you are part of the group In Our Angelhood. It's a very distinct sound. So tell me, I know that obviously you love Deftones.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have a tattoo of the horse of Deftones.
Yeah.
And obviously your music is pretty much clearly inspired by it. So tell me how did you develop that sound?
Yeah, I think just growing up on them, really inspired by them. I think also when it comes to like their style, there are like some technical parts, but it's just very like melancholic and can be kind of dark, but also beautiful. And I think, yeah, I've always kind of been drawn to that. So when it came to like writing my own stuff, I think it was just kind of natural to try and replicate that in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As yourself, as a musician, you released like a cover of 1979 by the Smashing Pumpkins, which you even kind of did a different like version of it in the sense of like it was a more melancholy,
Right.
which is ironic since it comes from the album Melancholy and Infinite Sadness.
Yeah.
And obviously that song is a lot more like kind of like poppy in a sense, and your version was very just like slowed down. It was your voice is very like a lot more deeper in it. You kind of add a lot of reverb in it, so it kind of like I guess mutes it a little bit in a sense.
Yeah.
And it was a really great cover, by the way. I actually listened to that cover a lot. I was like, this is a really cool cover. And then you took it off, and I'm like, where's this cover at?
Yeah. Thanks, man. I don't know. I've never been one to like. I've always been more interested in writing and performing my own music. But I think, and even the songs, like, there's only a handful, maybe 2 or 3 songs that like have attempted to cover or perform that like aren't mine. My performance or my interpretation, it almost like kind of ruins the song for me.
Because you're your own worst critic.
Yeah.
And then when you hear it, you're like, oh, and then when you hear the original, you're like, man, I covered this, so I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel you in that one. So your single Moonchild, like launched it a couple months ago. A little longer than that, I think. And you put a music video out for it. So kind of tell me about your idea for the music video. I was actually on set with you for that music video.
Yeah.
It was kind of a different concept than what was shot, but we still shot it that way. So tell me, what was the idea behind it?
Yeah, so this was kind of revolving around Halloween. It felt like that was kind of a hard date, and so just for the song in general, like I think when it came to lyrics and stuff like that, I was just kind of struggling, and just decided to like use this as a writing exercise. So I essentially just tell the story of the never-ending story.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of some of the aspects of that, the plot and some of the characters and perspective, all that stuff. So yeah, it was more so just to like get that out. And so when it came to talking about like a music video, maybe emulate that.
Yeah.
Alongside having a like live musical performance, or just like a musical performance. So it would kind of cut between like a modern take of the never-ending story and us playing the song or whatever. But through different circumstances, whatever, I think I was definitely happy with just doing a musical performance.
You were happy with the final product, but it wasn't the original idea.
Right.
Yeah, because it was like there was a lot of changes like throughout. Because that happens through any like video circumstance. Like something happens, or this isn't gonna work the way I thought it would, like at all. And then so you're just like, okay, we're gonna wing it through this other way and just see how it comes out. Yeah. No, I mean it came out really good. The video looks amazing. It's shot beautifully.
Yeah, even that part was. We had an idea for how we wanted to capture it or whatever, or this like how the set would look like.
Yeah, it was 100% different.
Yeah, on the day it
You wanna finish it?
Sure.
Let's cheers.
All right.
Cheers, my friend. I just throw up. That looks a lot lighter than our last beer.
Yeah,
it looks kind of like
kombucha or what?
It looks like it's gonna taste like a flower.
Right?
It looks like very rose.
What is this, rosé or what?
Yeah, it does. Cheers. Is it a cider or a sour?
Yeah.
It's kind of like.
I wouldn't know.
I burped and I taste eggs. That's not good. That's not good at all. I taste the eggs immediately.
Yeah.
So besides being a musician, you're also a graphic designer. As much as you don't like being called a graphic designer, you do that for a job, technically, and you also do it on the side too. Recently, actually, you did a graphic design for Trevor Wallace. For those of you who don't know, Trevor Wallace he was a TikToker, and he kind of made his way towards comedy in a sense. And you recently just did, I think it's an advertisement for it, right? Or promo?
So I drew up like my initial designs for the general tour. And just in our correspondence, he was telling me it's like between me and this other designer. But he did still want to have my work, and compensated me for it. But excuse me.
You're good. That's not what I mean, man. It's that gurgly.
Yeah, there it is.
So besides doing promos for Trevor Wallace, you also do zines. Your most recent one, which is Like an American.
Yep.
So tell me kind of about the idea behind Like an American.
Yeah. That one in particular came about around an opportunity to participate in Art Link. When I heard about that, I was just thinking about like what is a project that I could do, and kind of landed on this idea of exploring the themes like around being first generation American, and what that tension is of how I think we view America versus how they view America as well.
Yeah.
When it came to it, it was still kind of around COVID. I wanted to just explore like different mediums. So I've seen other artists do, what do you call it? Like do some work in AR, like augmented reality. So I was like, I wonder if I could do something like that. Like what could it look like? And so I kind of love doing collages. So I photograph, a handful of my friends and ask for them to share a bit about their experience.
Yeah, it was very, a lot of it was very personal experiences regarding their, explaining how they are as being a first generation American. Obviously the name Like an American is like based off of that. And it's very deep. Some people, how they felt about like the expectations that were set upon them, or how they felt, how their parents told them like how it was going to be like. And it was very like a lot of like mixed feelings in the sense of like how each person felt, but in all a very collective way.
Yeah.
Like it was all very understandable in that sense. I know you interviewed a graphic designer, editor Juan back there, and I know you interviewed a couple other people we know. And honestly, it was really good. Like he has a really good zine, and then you also did another zine before that too, which was regarding, I think it was migrants, from what I remember, right?
Yes, I'm kind of spacing on the name.
Yeah, I forgot the name. I remember we got the zine too, and I forgot the name. I was like trying to think of the name of it. I was gonna bring the zine,
Okay.
and then I was like, I have it in my room, and I was like, where is it at?
Heaven outside your
Heaven
doors.
outside, yes.
That's what it is. Yeah.
When you forget your own zine, what was that thing I worked on years ago? I don't remember.
Yeah.
But you worked on that, and that one was a really cool one too. That it was in the same style of the idea of it, but it was in a different style artistically.
Yeah, I kind of come from a faith-based background, so spirituality I think has always been a big part of my life, and so when it comes to social issues, I think it can often be kind of overlooked, or just like not even thought about, and so I forget what specifically was happening around that time, but I think I just kind of wanted to bring this spiritual perspective to like what immigration is, and maybe give more space to why liberation should matter for people who are underserved or oppressed, and so and see not, I think, just the humanity in like the individual, but I don't know, I think also the divinity and who we are as people, as beings, as humans. Like I think there's a lot of beauty in that, and it can be easy to chalk people up to headlines and be divided on issues.
Basically using them for more sense rather than people as a political game.
Yeah, so
like, I'm gonna use this like as a reason to up my, I said, political value in life or whatever, especially with nowadays politicians in that sense.
Yeah.
And no, the way you went about it was really cool, because I know that like whatever you sold for the zine, you donated 50% towards an organization to actually help migrants, and I think it was such a good way to go about it, because it wasn't about like a gain for you in a sense. It was about telling these people's stories and also showing off like what you can accomplish with just like something as like little as like 20 pages or something.
Right.
But in that note, we're almost finished our beers.
Yep.
Our rose beers. So let's cheers to this, man.
Cheers.
I think you finished more than me. You did.
Yeah.
I keep burping eggs. It tastes like fucking eggs. Eggs.
All right.
It really does. Do you not taste eggs? I taste eggs.
Yeah, I don't know where you're getting them from, bro.
All right, what is this? It is a. God damn it! You say it.
Sick.
You're
Nice. Original Sin dry rosé.
Original Sin.
Cider.
The irony in that one.
Yeah.
How much percent is it?
6.5.
6.5. Holy shit! For a cider, holy shit.
Yeah.
What would you rate that out of
10? Probably 7 or 8, or something like that. Yeah.
You say 7?
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
It was good. Every time I burp, I just taste egg still. So I don't know, but Original Sin. Well, it looks yellow.
Yeah. That is true.
It looks like your generic beer in a mug kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like this is what you would get at a bar. Like this is a beer in a mug.
It's like a stock video.
Yeah, it's like
photo.
A stock video photo of like the beer in the mug. Like let's cheers. Like do like a bros cheers. Like
right.
Yeah.
But you gotta do like super hard and
like
spill,
it has to spill over hard. Yeah. I just bought these glasses.
I'm not good.
I mean, they're $2, but still.
Yeah.
Citrusy.
Really? You get that?
What do you get? That's what I want to know.
I mean, like it's hoppy, so probably up the IPA alley, right?
It's not IPA. It's
No?
no. It's too like. It's not
Mellow?
as bitter.
Yeah, it's not.
Because IPA is just bitter and just like people that are like, I love IPAs. And I'm like, I don't believe you. Like, I don't believe you on that one. In Our Angelhood, that is the name of your musical project. What was the idea behind the name?
I had a buddy over and I think he was to show me the song, or I think we're watching the skate video. That's what it was, yeah. And he was telling me about this song that he had been listening to, and it was called In Our Angelhood by the Cocktail Twins. And I've like been familiar with that band. They're like a staple band within kind of the dream pop, shoegaze genre. And so since I was like writing that stuff, I just kind of instantly like loved the sound of it. And so yeah, I was like, that's sick. Like I'm gonna use that as a name for something. And then I think eventually just it's like, why not just use that as the project name? And so yeah, I just kind of ran with it.
So do you want to like say, like, I guess like continue this as just your long-term project, or do you plan on kind of like traversing into different projects?
Yeah, it's definitely, I think, grown a lot more than I might have initially planned for.
Yeah.
Even though I like started this off with a friend, I kind of like took it upon myself because I was just running so much, just to kind of explore what would that look like.
Yeah.
Maybe as a solo project, where now, you know, I've brought some other people in, kind of more so for like the live performance aspect of it.
So are you kind of more looking now to kind of do a live show? Because a lot of the stuff is like, you release a single and you're right now in the process of recording like a couple more singles and then even an EP at the moment. Are you looking to actually try to do a live performance with your bandmates in a sense?
Yeah, definitely. We've had like a recent kind of lineup change and just have been exploring like different people and, you know, being in the same room and just like seeing how that chemistry is, and you know, if it's a good fit for everyone. And so I think we're definitely like on the way toward that. I've produced material for other people to learn parts and stuff, and it's been interesting like hearing people come in and play those, and where like I'm not playing them myself, and so
because it's like it's hearing their, I guess, perspective of it rather than like what you wrote originally or produced of it.
Yeah,
because the whole idea originally was you were kind of a one-man band.
Right.
You said you're very DIY. You're very like, okay, like when you put out your cover, it was just you.
Right.
It wasn't, you didn't have a whole band. You did every instrument. You recorded it in that way. You put it out that way. Mm-hmm. So now it's having that band and having that kind of like, each person has a different style, and trying to figure out like, okay, like to perform it this way, is this how I want it to sound, or is it going in a different way where I'm just kind of like, let's kind of back it up to change it a little bit.
Yeah. I think that role has been interesting to figure out as well, because this kind of started out as like a solo project in a sense, where now it's I've always loved to bring people into the creative process and to like collaborate. And so even though I have this catalog like of material that they're learning, I definitely want to and hope, I'm sure we'll get to a spot where we kind of start writing new material together, and it's not just me bringing a finished product.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
like
It's
these
not.
guys,
It's
you know
more.
what I mean? Yeah.
No, I mean it's cool to see that kind of transition in that sense, like of you going from like independent to more of like a band. 'Cause I
Right.
know you've been recently posting that you're doing a lot of like recordings. You're like probably jamming out a lot more, which is really
Right.
cool because you kind of get used to like who you're performing with. And like you said, you had a lineup change.
Yeah.
I think you changed your drummer out, right?
Yeah, and added a like second guitarist as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That adds more sound to it.
Yeah. It's been nice. I kind of going back to like what I was talking about earlier. I don't consider myself like a technical player, so
Yeah.
even the lead parts that I write, I think like just trying to play and sing those lead part or like sing the the vocal parts and play the lead parts at the same time. It's been kind of difficult.
It's really hard to do that.
Yeah.
Like it's
So-
easier to play like a rhythm and like sing at the same time. I mean, that's
Totally.
what most singers do if they're playing guitar. They typically play rhythm and sing, just because like it's a lot. You don't have to worry about the complexity of whatever you're playing because you're doing two things at once.
Yeah.
Gassy from this beer, and it's interesting to have that change in that where you're like, I can now kind of like step back in the sense of like I can just focus on the rhythm, and then do whatever vocals I'm playing, or singing. I mean, and so that way you can, I guess, emphasize both 50-50 rather than one over the other.
Right.
No, I mean, like I said, your project is coming along. Luckily, like I said, you dropped your single recently, and it's a really good single. Like it's a really good single. Like
Thank
I
you.
listen to it, and I'm like, this is so gnarly.
Yeah.
Because like it's such a distinct sound. Like it's a mixture of like shoegaze, dream pop. Obviously, like I said, a little bit of Deftones in it,
Yeah.
but it's your own sound. It's not like it's not what you would hear on the sense of like people, how most people are making music these days. It's kind of a throwback, but not really.
Yeah.
It's a refresh in that way.
Yeah.
And I really do enjoy it. I'm glad you're making music, and I'm ready to hear more. Like I
Yeah.
want you to put more out.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, oh, when is he gonna drop another single or his EP?
Yeah.
But we're both almost done with our beers, so
Yeah.
let's cheers to your music, my friend.
All right. Thanks, bro.
Case of beer. It's called The Great Divine. Is it Colette?
Fine. Nice.
Colette Farmhouse Ale. It is. It doesn't say what kind it is. It's 6.5%, so same percentage. It's an ale, so I'm assuming that's why it was so like vibrant.
Yeah.
What do you rate it?
I kind of like more stuff like this, so probably 8.
An 8?
Yeah, 7 or 8.
Yeah, to be honest, around the same. It's light. It's kind of crisp. It's not very heavy.
Right.
I think our first beer, it's a lighter percentage, but it's a lot more heavy. Like, it gets you more filled. This is very like, it's a nice summer drink, so it's good if you want to like drink right now, or it's fucking 110 outside.
Yeah.
So yeah, around the same. But no, I liked it. Other than that, that wraps up our interview. If you have any plugs, go ahead and throw it in that camera. I know you're currently working on an EP, like we said. Do we have a possible release date? Or even
Yeah.
for your next single?
Yeah. The focus is definitely more so on the single, and I'm hoping to get that out probably within a month and a half.
Okay,
max.
so it's pretty close.
Yeah. We're getting close to that.
So check out In Our Angelhood in the next. They're dropping a new single in the next month or two. You can check out their new single Moonchild on any streaming services. You can check out their music video on YouTube, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on the show again. I'm so glad you decided to do this.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah, of course, my
It's been
friend.
good.
We'll see you guys next time. I gotta pee.